Welcome to episode 253 of Real Therapy, where we talk about how movies make us feel. I'm Donavon Thompson with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
and today we're discussing episode 2 and 3 of Alien Earth on FX and Disney Plus/Hulu. This is Real Therapy, and you know what that means.
They're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, cause it's Dan and Don in Real Therapy. It's real.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's another week, another podcast, as they say.
They do say that. Everyone says that, especially when they go to our YouTube or our Spotify or our iTunes podcast, any of those, and they subscribe and they get this episode every Friday at 3 p.m. They will always know it's a new week. It's a new podcast. So don't be someone that doesn't know that. That would be, you'd really be missing out.
We've always been consistent for the most part, like every week for almost 6 years now, but it feels much better now that we're releasing on like a specific day and a specific time every week. And I feel like that will build momentum. And also, I think if we do have any listeners out there, they probably appreciate like, okay, I know now when it's going to drop.
Yeah. We decided to grow up a little bit. We decided to grow up a little bit as podcasters and be a little bit more, like the pros, I guess. Trying to emulate
Like
the masters.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're talking Alien Earth episode 2 and 3. Last week we talked about the season premiere. Even though there was 2 episodes dropped last week, we're 3 in now. I think did we figure out last week what the episode count was for this season? Is it 8?
I think it's 8. I believe
Okay.
it's 8.
So we're getting to the halfway point, and you may have to help me a little bit on episode 2. I just finished episode 3, so I'm pretty fresh on that. But I will say, I think in a way it's getting better. There's things that are slowing down in places and those kind of things and picking up in others. But I think overall, like I'm just getting more invested in the kids. I'm getting more invested in Wendy, even Timothy Olyphant's character.
Yeah.
The boy genius. There was things in episode 2 I mentioned last week that you're going to see that's going to kind of paint his character. And then this week, I thought there's even more. And I feel like we're getting some really good, interesting character moments. And they're also adding some fun mythology things. I saw last night or this week sometime on the interwebs that like they're changing the alien mythology and fans are upset. And I was like, I watched it and I've been an alien fan all my life. I'm like, I don't see the problem. I don't know why people are upset about. So I'm excited to kind of dive in that too. So what do you think so far, episode 2 and 3, and how are you feeling about the series overall as we're getting into the halfway point?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I think, Alien has always had its own little flavor of sci-fi, of dystopian, corpo, cyberpunky sci-fi. And this feels right in line with all of that. I mean, I think, yes, there are things about this that feel it's like unique to itself, but to me, the tone, the vibes all feel like Alien to me in good ways. You know what I mean? I'm not a pro on all of the lore, so I don't even, I'm not going to know when they're changing things or not. But I'm invested. I mean, I'm loving this show. It is top tier in terms of production value, in terms of acting, in terms of writing. Timothy Olyphant is knocking it out of the park just consistently.
He's
so good.
Fun to watch.
The guy that plays Morrow.
See the cyborg?
Yes. He's a fantastic actor.
He's like the most interesting to watch. And there's something about when an actor can sweat, dude. There's something about I don't know what it is, when they can sweat or they can get, some
grimy and dirty
PA to spray them with some like water bottle mist or something. And you put like sparks behind them and they're like intense. That's my kind of shit, dude. I love it.
The cinematography is fantastic. The visual effects are fantastic. The monsters look great. This show really did kind of start with a bang with like the ship coming down, and I was kind of curious, what is the pacing going to be? Are we just going to be kind of like breakneck speed? And we do slow down a little bit, in episode 3, and I think that's good. I think that works. I think that's like it. We slow down, but now there's this like horrible dread building. You know what I mean? Of like the clusterfuck that is obviously going to happen here, and like so, and there's part of me is starting to like go through the process of like, who do I think's actually going to survive this whole thing? Like, you know what I mean? I'm starting to kind of like build my theories of like, well, it's not wide. I mean, the alien wasn't widespread knowledge by the time Alien happens in 2 years. So it's not like it can't be too public of a thing that happens here. Like it can't make national news necessarily about the xenomorph can't make national news. So it's going to be somewhat of like a, no one knows we're here and then we're wiped off the map. So yeah, anyway, I'm loving it. I'm engaged with the characters, with the storylines, with the plot. Super interested to see what they're doing with Wendy's brother's lung and if they're going to put it back inside of him. There's a lot of debate about that on the internet. But yeah, I'm on the ride. I'm having a great time. Catherine is too, and and she's not a horror. She's never seen any Alien, or I think she watched like the first Alien in film school in undergrad, but like other than that, never seen one and never really been invested in. She's loving it as much as me. She's just as invested. So I think this show to me is doing what it needed to do, which is appeal to Alien fans, but also be easy enough to follow and engage with for just casual viewers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the performances are great. All the things are great, right? And just kind of talk about episode 2 real quick. I really loved like seeing the xenomorph doing some really nasty things, just kind of the intensity and like making it really scary in terms of our perspective of where the camera is and where the xenomorph is. There was a little bit of, this character has a little like main character syndrome or body armor where it's like this xenomorph just killed like 7 people in like 3 seconds. But now this guy can survive a little bit longer because he's like one of the main characters.
Sure.
There's always those kind of problems, but I'm willing to kind of suspend disbelief for the nature of the narrative.
For the drama, yeah.
Yeah. I thought, again, what was really interesting, obviously they've really hit it home in episode 3, but we had a Wendy, Peter Pan kind of thing going on, right? Lost boys, kids that never grow up. But I can't ever think of his name, but the boy genius. Episode 2, he kind of talks about he just really wants someone who's smarter than him that we can have an interesting conversation with. Part of it was like, it felt a little on the nose because he's like just straight out saying it to somebody.
Yeah.
But also after thinking about it and just kind of digesting that scene, I was like, no, he's that kind of guy.
Sure.
I just, I thought it was within line with his character because he doesn't really hold things back.
Right.
And he's, for the sake of like, hey,
he doesn't care about appearing modest, or he has kind of no kind of social inhibitions. He says what he wants. He does what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I really like that we got that from him. And of course we get, it was also interesting, some of the times I'm like, I'm just kind of going for the ride. Yeah. I'm not trying to dock it for anything yet. When Wendy meets her brother, is her real name Wendy? I think it's so.
No, that's not her real name.
Well, it's weird because in episode, it was like, it's Marcy, right? So
yes.
In episode 3, she's like, why does Wendy get to keep her name? And it's like, I thought her name was Marcy.
She said.
She did. She said, well, she's the first. She's like, well, I'm named something different. Why does Wendy get to keep her original name? That was the girl that was kind of like always staring off in episode 3, like the kind of redhead girl.
She was saying, why does she like? I thought she was asking. I don't remember her asking why it was her name. I remember her asking. I remember that moment. I just don't remember her asking why does she keep her name. I thought it was something slightly different.
Yeah, maybe it was, but I thought it was odd, and I was like, that's really weird. But I thought it was kind of interesting that Wendy and her brother are already. Like, she's like, I'm this, and like, remember Ice Age and all those kind of things. Yeah. And it was I
think it was like, why does Wendy get a normal name? I think maybe we should, like, because they're all named like nickname. Like, they all have,
maybe that's
like,
what it was.
Why does she get a normal name? We're all named like nicknames, and then why can't I pick? Why couldn't we pick our names? Like, that was what she was saying. Yeah.
Gotcha. But that conversation, with her brother was a little clunky because it's like, I'm your sister, and kind of telling the whole audience everything right then. But again, overall, I'm really
I don't
enjoying.
mind though. I'm glad they didn't just string us along with, I mean, so many other shows would have just strung this like, let's let them slowly find out she isn't sure what to say, but he slowly picks up on it, and then it's like this like moment. I'm just kind of glad they like get it out of the way. Okay, hey, this is your sister. You thought you were dead, and she's in a cyborg body. Okay, let's go. Like I appreciate that we didn't have to like make that linger, because I don't think that's that interesting.
It's not the pacing of the reveal. I think it's more just the actual dialogue that was being said.
Sure.
And just kind of his reaction to it in the moment. I think he just felt a little, because you're kind of getting it out of the way quickly. It's like you have to be really precise and intelligent with your dialogue.
Well, and you have to
I think it may just been clunkier than the rest of the show. You know?
Well, and it's just, you have to have characters in the moment of like stress feel a certain, like there's a lot of emotions they have to be going through for it to feel realistic in that moment. And I think you're right. I think it was a little clunky, but it didn't like throw me out. It wasn't like, oh my God, the dialogue. It wasn't like, whoa, the acting.
No,
it was just a little bit like that, not even maybe slightly cliche. Like it was just a little bit like some of the lines were just a bit, they worked, but they weren't like, you know, we've heard those lines before kind of thing,
Sure.
you know.
How'd you feel? Because I think this is episode 2, and I alluded to this last week, but like the eyeball in the cat's head.
Oh yeah, so gross,
Dude,
and crazy.
That's brilliant. That's
Yes.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit I'm like, oh man, I never thought of that, and that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, no, the monster stuff's been great. I can't wait to see that redheaded girl that's starting to like question things, and I'm pretty certain is gonna like go insane, or something like that. She's gonna go crazy and kill people probably, or let all the monsters out. But that eyeball thing, it feels like she can't get it out. She like keeps thinking about it or something like that. And and I think one thing that is like, you know, we already know that the xenomorphs aren't really interested in the synthetics, just based on how the face hugger reacted in episode 3. But I do wonder if can some of these other monsters find ways to like control and then get inside synthetics in some way, like, you know, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know either. I at the very end I was kind of waiting, like, there's a question. The synthetics, at least so far we know, an alien, they don't have, I don't think, any biological like material.
But these
you know
are
what I'm saying?
androids, right? Is that what these ones are called? They're synthetics, androids.
No, these are
a cyber or something.
a cyborg, synthetics, and this one, I can't think the name of it, but look it up. But this is whatever, the idea being they're called hybrids.
Yeah.
But it don't still seem like they're made out of any human material.
It seems like their consciousness was transferred into like a computer.
Yeah, so my thing is, I don't think the alien can't. We could be wrong. They could have lied to us. You know, there could be all kinds of things.
Yeah.
We don't know. There could be all kinds of things we haven't been told yet. But my point is, like, it feels like the alien needs like a biological organism to incubate and grow and to take its part of its DNA, all these kind of things. So I don't know if they can. So
not the alien. I'm just wondering about these other creatures. What can the eyeball do?
The other creatures, they might be able to do things that maybe it's actually a great point. Maybe they're brought in because like the alien can't do nothing because it's been established canon, but maybe something else can.
Yeah.
And it totally makes sense too. Like if you think in the future, there's got to be like biological organisms that like have evolved to even adapt to machines, you know, like, which is crazy hybrid stuff.
Yeah.
So I could totally see that. And I'm hoping that's the case now, because I want to see some other things. Would it be weird that if, like, say there's these 5 or 6 other aliens they have, like 2 of the 6 or however many, like they also have like evolution, so to speak? Would it be weird if they also are like the alien, or they're growing and changing? And
well, we've already seen that thing that like sticks to the ceiling and was like a little thing came out that looked like it wanted to stick to somebody. Like I feel like we have already seen other aliens and then those little suckers that just fill up sacks of blood. That feels like those are going to go do something. Those probably just don't sit around as sacks of blood. They probably transform or something. Like,
sure.
You know, so I feel like we're already getting hints that other things probably do have life cycles that we're going to get to see. But I think like the eyeball probably doesn't. The eyeball just seems like this little tiny devilish creature that's just like is more maybe as dangerous as anybody, but he's like this tiny little eyeball squid, you know?
Yeah. It's funny. Like he was just kind of just chilling in the thing. Like he wasn't trying to get out. He was just like watching them. He seems
Yes.
more intelligent
Yes,
than
that's
some of the
exactly
other
right.
ones.
He seems like one. I wonder if he has some sort of like telepathic. Like even in the beginning, when we got like those flashes in episode 1 of what took place on that ship before it crashed, I almost thought there was a moment that indicated that like and I guess we were told that like one of them got impregnated and we did, and that's how it all started. But it almost seemed like maybe the eyeball was like at one point hypnotizing someone into like letting it out or something. Like I got that
maybe he's the
impression. I don't remember.
mastermind.
I don't remember any specifics, and I could totally be off. But I remember getting that impression, and then that kind of feeling in line with that redheaded chick kind of thinking about it, and like, is it making a psychic connection to her? Just I don't know. Those are the things.
There's a version of this where that thing gets out and it becomes like the thing in the way that you don't know who's infected, and because it's an eyeball. And then it's like, and like maybe it's really intelligent, and because an eye, it's like it's attaching to the brain, right?
Right.
And so like it may be doing all kinds of regular motor functions, and like and can be like a person, and it can.
I wouldn't be surprised if it talks through somebody at some point.
That's what I'm saying, and like that would be a crazy species out there in the universe. It's like this is like a intergalactic,
Now, what
evil.
would be interesting is if all the xenomorphs don't make it off, but one of these other creatures do, like make it off the island at the end or something. Like that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
Especially if it was one like that.
Yeah. Well, and not to jump around or anything, but I also appreciate the fact in episode 3 that we're off I think it was called the Maginot or something, the ship. I'm glad we're at the compound now.
Yeah.
At Neverland, and so I think it's because now we're like around. I don't know. We get the flavor of like a ship in the first 2 episodes, but now we're like in a place where there's like the jungle and.
But they're all. It almost was a little Jurassic Parky, right? They're on an island.
100%.
They're secluded. There's dangerous things locked up in not secure enough cages. Kind of shit's about to go down, and we're just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, there was something about like obviously seeing aliens in the streets of like a city,
sure.
but also it's kind of like how do you explain that, and like how to like how does Ripley not know about that? But I think having them on an island, you could still have like basically outbreaks. It may be, but I think season 1 might end with them getting off the island and going into some suburban.
Are we for sure getting more seasons? This isn't like a series. What do they call it? A limited series.
Limited series. He has said multiple times he's got a multi-season arc. I don't know if it's been renewed yet.
I mean, you would think though that means he is under the impression he's getting more than one season, as long as it does well, and it seems to be doing very well.
He seems, I haven't really checked on the numbers.
Ratings are very high, and it had
good.
It already had like almost 10 million views in the first like few days after the first 2 came out. Like it was impressive. I don't remember what the metric was exactly, but it was like it's doing well. Lots of people are watching it.
Even if people weren't, I think like we talked about last week, it's imperative to like not only resuscitate a brand, but keep the brand image strong and make it bigger. And even if you lose a little money on this, you're going to make up for it in merchandising and when the next movie comes out, I mean, like things like that, you're going to help it, so hopefully that I would love if we got 3 seasons of this, and that would be incredible. Actually, I think it'd be great. I'm really loving it so far, and I do want to talk more about episode 3 here.
Yeah.
I thought it was a super interesting thing where he like downloaded all his information and then he touched him and copied it. Like that's a cool sci-fi thing. And I like that we're getting new technology and or at least new ideas, and like stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, this to me, episode 3 was Timothy Olyphant's episode in so many.
He had some good looks,
really
dude.
The stand
when he takes him out of the lab, Yeah,
and he's so good at like being the like quietly the most powerful person in the room. That's like, oh really? Like kind of this like just kind of like, oh you think so energy of like I actually know, I'm actually the one in charge here. I'm actually knowing what's going on. You don't, kind of thing. He's so good at that kind of stuff. And he got to do it twice. He got to do it with Morrow, and then he got to do it with the Boy Genius in the lab after they brought the eggs back.
Yeah.
He kind of just had this moment of like, I have the upper hand and you didn't know that, but I do. And so, yeah, I thought he was fantastic. And I thought, it was really cool with him and Morrow. Because, too, there was like this almost like, he's fascinated by Morrow. He's not like, he's not really threatened by him. He's like, this is a curiosity to him as a synthetic, as someone that is just, I guess, curious about other beings like him. But I will say, and I'm looking forward to it, he does seem like someone that will become a bad at some point to some degree.
You think so?
I mean, like, synthetics being bad is as core to Alien as anything else. You know what I mean? And he's the obvious... He has the ability to hurt. I mean, even just the idea, like I saw some people commenting and I was like, that's probably true. He probably let the boy genius get close to that egg to make him, to scare him, to like be like, you know what I mean? There's part of me that says, yeah, that was probably a power play to some degree, even to make him say only synthetics down here. Like he just made himself king of that area. That could have totally been like manipulation, the plan.
Yeah.
So there's just, he's got this like, I'm not really on anybody's side. I'm just curious to see what happens kind of vibe to him already. And I just feel like he's going to be this kind of guy where it's like, almost like maybe like David, where it's like he's willing to do whatever. He's willing to be evil to have a science experiment just to see what happens. Like, he's like,
I don't see him as, obviously he's not David yet, but I don't know. I think there's a little bit of, I think he does maybe cares about the kids a little bit.
I agree. I think he feels some sort of fathership to them. And they were kind of treating him and that lady like mom and dad, and so like, yes, I agree. And I think that's where, that's what makes his character interesting is he's not fully in
it may be Blade Runner. I was thinking it was Alien. But and I need to look it up. I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks now. But the phrase "more than human," I can't remember if that's from Blade Runner or if it's from Alien or from something else. But I get it's interesting too because you haven't seen Alien Covenant yet. But David was like this thing that at least by the end of or middle of Covenant, whatever, you just fully understood that this guy. It seems like he's sentient, like he's making choices on his own. He's sentient. He's got, It seems like he's got some sort of emotion. Like he's become, a true child of a human.
It's Alien. It says, I mean, there's an official teaser 2 weeks ago. It says official teaser, more than human, Alien Earth. So.
Okay. Yeah, I really think I think that's like a brand thing and maybe in one of the past movies.
Yeah.
But David is like the only one that's truly been like, okay, this guy is doing stuff outside the norm. Alien 3, I don't even know if there is an android in
What about
Alien
the
3.
Alien 1?
But he's working for Mother. Like he's got a curiosity, but he doesn't seem like he's someone who he's taking orders. He's more like funny enough, Morrow. Like he's more like him.
Sure.
Even though he's a synthetic and Morrow's a cyborg.
Right.
And it feels like I don't know how long he's been a cyborg. It feels like he's been a cyborg for like 65 years or something.
Well, he was on that trip. So he was in hibernation.
Yeah, no, but I mean, even time wise, it feels like I guess that's a long expedition. Though.
But doesn't it like does it like make you not age when you go into this?
No, it doesn't make you age. I'm just saying like I didn't realize we had that kind of stuff that long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like the technology, because I think we're in 21 something.
Yeah, when Prometheus takes place after Alien.
Before.
Well, Prometheus had that technology. It had the deep space hibernation stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I need to look at the timeline and see like what year the Prometheus take place in, all these kind of things. I think it's like 20 years before Alien Earth.
So that's like 18 years before this ish.
Yeah, but it's still 20 years though. It's like that's still 40 years before Prometheus, where they're doing pretty impressive stuff. But I mean, I'm saying it's like basically in our time, it's like 20. It's like 2060. It's like 25 years from now we're sitting. That's what I'm saying. Like it feels. I don't feel like we're close to that.
No.
But anyway, that doesn't matter at all. I was just thinking about it.
Sure.
But yeah, I really liked having seeing like the tadpole alien. Like we got
Oh
a new
yeah, that
life.
was cool.
It's not even like a new life cycle. It's really just it's technically part of the face hugger, but it's something I've never considered. Like, what's the thing that it pumps down there? I've never thought
Mm,
about it. I guess I
mm,
thought it was more like even something smaller. I don't know,
sure.
but to actually see the baby xenomorph, like literally like a
A
tadpole
tadpole.
version of
Yeah.
it. I was like, oh man, that's like to me it felt genius, and I feel like some people are like maybe jumping on this bandwagon of like they're changing things, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, what else? I mean, it's really tiny, and it looks. I mean,
It
that makes
doesn't
sense.
change
That's what it
anything
would.
that's happened before.
It changed nothing
It's
to
just
me. It
added
changes.
detail to it, which is cool.
Yeah,
It just makes
I
it
thought it was cool.
interesting. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
heard like you could kind of see like black goo inside of it, right? Like
yeah.
or like, and so like even that feels like
It's all
it's
connected. Like I feel like they're doing a
it's
good job
I
of
know that
connecting
Noah
things.
Hawley said didn't Noah Hawley said he like only cares about Alien One or something like that. Like he's only really lore wise, he's only really factoring in Alien One as far as like not breaking lore, I think, or something like that. But at the same time, there's many references to other aliens that are
Yeah.
loving references. I feel
Well,
like not.
really, Scott is a producer on this. I mean, he's probably like a we gotta send this to him so he
Well,
can say
he makes money on anything alien, so he gets a
that's what
paycheck.
I'm saying.
That's the
That's what I'm
producer.
saying. And he definitely watched something. He probably didn't have any substantial
Creative
power or
input.
ability
Yeah, yeah,
to give
yeah.
notes. But I mean, like I feel like they've been saying this is only canon to like this and that. But so far, I don't see anything that breaks canon, and I think that's great. Like, I like that part of it.
Yeah,
I would like to someday in my old age be like, all right, I'm going to have an alien marathon. I'm going to start
sure.
with Prometheus, then
In
watch
timeline order. Yeah, yeah,
Covenant, then watch 3 seasons of Alien Earth, then watch Alien. Like, I would love that
yeah,
experience of like
yeah.
going through the entire story. Um, Part of me says I would like to see Alien 5 and see what happens after Resurrection. But and we're kind of getting what the original Alien 5 was in Alien Earth. Alien 5
Yeah,
was they're coming to Earth. That was Alien 5.
sure. Yeah, I mean that was always the obvious stake they never upped, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
that
And now
now
we're
they're
there.
on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Noah is able to bring really shepherd this show well and make it a strong show, make it a culturally relevant show, keep people invested and land it well. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll be given the reins for like future Alien if he wants them. You know what I mean? Like I think I think James Gunn and DC is maybe hopefully starting a trend of giving creatives more power at the top and not just making it C-suite executives that are making these big decisions about what movies to make and what characters to explore and stuff. And maybe Alien can take notes from that. Maybe Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is maybe doing that with Dave Filoni. We don't really know. We'll see. But like, I think Noah Hawley seems like the kind of guy that could do that, and he seems to have a very strong love for Alien. Just there's not a lot of crossover between Alien and Fargo, stylistically or visually or like anything. Like watching Fargo, you wouldn't just be like, yeah, that's the Alien guy. But clearly, Alien means a lot to him. I think to give this much of a loving version of it. And so, yeah, I mean, who knows what the future of Alien is, but if Noah Hawley is in charge, I'll probably be really interested.
I do think Fede Alvarez will be at the helm of the next Alien movie.
Well,
I
I
think
mean, we're getting a sequel to Romulus, right? Is that what do we
that's
don't
what
know?
I'm saying. I think it was confirmed that it's in like, it's been greenlit or whatever. I think that will continue to happen, and they should, let him do a movie every 2, 3 years and
Right.
for a couple more movies, and then maybe take a break from it for a little bit. I do suspect that there will be some type of crossover between the Alien and Predator universe. The Predator has
Hmm.
been doing it more than Alien. Predator example in Badlands, he didn't confirm it, but he was basically like, yeah, I just can't say it for whatever reason. But like one of the Predators, kind of what he's wearing is basically made out of xenomorph tails. And on top of that,
So
in
like he
Predator
killed a
Bad,
bunch essentially. Like
yeah,
those were his
and
trophies
Predator, yeah, he seems like the big bad also. But in Predator Badlands, that's a Weyland Yutani robot that's with him the whole movie.
officially. Like, is it branded?
Oh yeah, officially. Yeah. In the first like shot of the trailer, her eyes have a Weyland-Yutani symbol and they blink and she's back, back online. So
Hmm.
definitely playing within he's playing within the shared universe because they can. And
Interesting. I
so,
mean, like, I've never seen the Alien versus Predator movies. They always seemed kind of
dude, the first one's
schlocky.
it's so
Like
fun.
they
The
weren't
first
trying
one's
to take them, nobody's taking it too seriously kind of movie.
yeah.
Like, and like those are fun and all, but like this new version of the Alien universe is very serious. You know what I mean? It's whimsical at times and it's, weird at times, but everyone's taking it very serious. And so I'm down for that as long as they keep the tone consistent, I think. I think in a world where you have alien, like xenomorphs, having other planets that have things like predators is not a jump at all. You know what I
No.
mean? And so it makes
Yeah, I
sense. I
agree.
just don't want it to become, schlocky or just like, you know what I'm saying? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
with Predator is especially with like Badlands and even in this other cartoon, it feels like it's going to be more. They're okay doing more adventure, fun kind of stuff, like more
Not
action
straight horror.
oriented, not straight horror, kind of more mythology building and world building. Alien feels like they're really trying to just get the property back to a cohesive place, but also just kind of get more philosophical with it. I mean, they did touch upon
Yeah.
in Romulus with like the android and
Yeah.
her love for her brother and those kind of things. At the end of the day, it was still an alien movie. But I agree. I don't want Alien Earth or all those. I don't want the alien side to touch the Predator stuff. I think I want the Predator stuff to touch the alien stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I think it'd be fun. And I think it was like Fede Alvarez and Dan Trachtenberg were like, yeah, we would love to do a Alien and Predator movie together. We co-direct it.
That'd be
You
interesting.
know,
Yeah.
it would be interesting.
Don't
And
hear
if they
many
can make it work,
co-directors.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they can make it work, then let's make it work. And
Sure.
it's not like we don't already have the perfect Alien movie and the perfect Predator movie. So it's like at some point, it's like how far can you go?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, I'd like to highlight one last thing that may or may not be TV or movie related. Daniel?
I'm gonna highlight. It's a slight. I've already slightly highlighted, but it's slightly different. Poker Face season 2, which we just started this last week. Poker Face is a TV show starring Natasha Lyonne, produced by and created by Ryan Johnson of the Knives Out fame, and the Star Wars We Don't Speak Of fame, or infamy, I guess. So Poker Face season 2, it's similar premise of you are kind of shown who the killer is every time. It's never a mystery who the bad guy is. The fun and the mystery is of how does it play out? How do they get caught? Kind of thing. But with season 2, they've really started leaning into like guest stars in a fun way where it's starting to it feels like classic TV in a way that like we kind of get this murder of the week, but it's also like who's going to be in this episode. So this last episode was John Mulaney, and there was the old lady. Let's see, what was her name? She's old Hollywood, but she's very Beatrix Haas. What was her real name? Rhea Perlman. Who's been in tons of stuff. She was in Cheers. She was in Matilda. So many things. Anyway, the episode before that was Giancarlo Esposito and who's the chick that played Batman's girlfriend in Begins?
Maggie Gyllenhaal?
No, the woman, the actor before her.
Oh, Rachel Dawson? Nope.
No, that's her name in the.
That's the name of the movie.
Yeah,
you're right. It was Tom Cruise's wife, right?
Old wife. Yeah, she was in Dawson's Creek, right?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
So Katie
Thank
Holmes
you.
and Giancarlo Esposito were the stars in that one for the beginning episode. It's the girl that plays the lady that plays the witch in Wicked, the new movie.
Mm-hmm.
She plays
Cynthia something.
quintuplets. So she plays 5 characters. And
Wow.
so it has this like, the energy is like, okay, what's crazy going to happen? How's the plot going to play out? But it's also like, what star is going to play some wacky role this week? Because they're all playing they're not playing like norm. They're playing very eccentric, very weird, very kind of interesting characters. And so like, it's kind of evolving. You know, the first season was kind of a lot about Charlie, who's Natasha Lyonne's character, and her power and her connecting with people, and that's still there, but it feels so as much about the guest stars now. And so like it has that feeling of like old sitcoms or old what are the shows, procedural shows that would just like every week they get a different guest star in, like in the 90s, you know? And it's a really nice throwback to old TV if you kind of miss that vibe. But on top of that, it's just good TV. It's great acting, it's great writing, it's really fun kind of mystery plots that feel, it has this kind of whodunit vibe to it. It has a very Knives Out vibe to it, but it's not that, you know, it's very much its own thing. So highly recommend Poker Face. Season 2 just came out, I think, this year, so very good.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, so I think my before you go will be I want to watch these. I want to watch it. Period. I liked the first episode. I watched, I think, part of episode 2. I really liked it. I'm excited for Knives Out 3 this fall, and I'm excited to revisit Knives Out and Glass Onion again before then too. I think those are just such fun movies, and I hope we break one of those kind of movies down
with
the pod
Bruce. That'd be
at
good.
some time. Yeah, I would love to do like a whodunit. You know,
Knives
it'd be
Out
really
would be a
fun.
good one, honestly.
It would be. Yeah, it would be. You know, part of me says I should reference Brick for our audience members if they like Poker Face. That was Ryan Johnson's first movie, and it's very indie, but it's like basically a Knives Out, or it's like a not Knives Out, it's like a noir or whodunit, but in high school, and it's brilliant. You know, it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and got some really good stuff in it.
Cool.
If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. And I think my before you go though is I watched Weapons over the weekend.
I'm jealous.
And yeah, and you know, I was thoroughly entertained throughout that entire movie. And the cinematography was great, the acting was great, the dialogue. I mean, everything about it, I was like, oh man, this is it's so nice walking into a movie and I don't know what's gonna happen, or I don't have any like I anticipated or hoped it would be good.
Yeah.
But I didn't like have any preconceived notions like Superman, like this has to be good, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, people might not like the ending. I thought it really worked overall, and it worked for me.
Yeah.
And just the way he tells the story and how you're jumping from character to character is so fun. And it's also a little not irritating, but when he says like, I just wrote this from the beginning and didn't really, have a plan. It's a little irritating. It's like, man, it's like it really feels like he did have a plan and he didn't, and he did it really well. There was obviously things in the first 5 minutes I was like that you notice. You're like, oh, they're going to tell you what happened with that. Like like this guy has a bandage on his finger, and you're like immediately you're like, we're going to find out pretty soon what happened with his bandage. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there was other things like the way it interweaved, and and you get more from this perspective, and I thought it really worked. And again, I'm really happy that it's doing very well, and it's almost made over 100 million. I think by today or tomorrow it will make 100 million just in the United States, which is great for that kind of movie. And again, we've said it a few times this year, but things like Sinners, like Weapons, there was something else that came out that I thought that did well. I can't think of the name of it now, but we need more original IP like that. And I'm hoping Hollywood sees these kind of things and says, maybe we should go for really interesting stories or storytelling with smaller budgets and not blow our load with like Superman. Maybe have like one Superman a year, but then have like 4 or 5 smaller budgets that are really developed and really thought of, and they're creative first, and they're really putting their money behind creatives. I think people are getting an appetite now for something that surprises them and something that's not more the same.
Fresh.
And that's coming from somebody who checks every day to see if the 4K Steelbook of Superman is available to pre-order, And so I'm hoping we get more stuff like that.
Me too.
Yep. As mentioned earlier, if you haven't go ahead and please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're on YouTube, youtube.com/@realtherapypod. And if you haven't, find us on all podcast services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whatever you listen to podcasts on. Give us a review, give us a like, give us a follow, whatever you can do on your app. Do that in the best positive sense to our channel. We really appreciate it, and it helps a lot. Daniel, was always fun talking Alien Earth. We didn't really have specific, deep conversations about one thing. We kind of jumped around like all over the place, episode 2 and 3. But I think that will be good, and because now we're fixing to switch over to Peacemaker season 2, and we'll get one or two of those in under our belt, and we may switch back over to Alien Earth when we get to a certain point with Peacemaker.
That's tonight, right? Peacemaker.
That's tonight. You're right. It's tonight. I might wait and rewatch. I don't know. There's so many things I want to rewatch. I just feel like I don't have the time. We
finished Peacemaker season 1 last week, so just in time. So we're
man, there's so many things I want to watch.
And we watched Suicide Squad and then Peacemaker season 1. So we did a little John Cena Peacemaker marathon, and
you did it the correct way is how I would put that.
Yeah.
And so
Suicide Squad, still a banger of a movie. It's a great movie.
Oh, it's so fun. It's just a fun thing.
It's just like, it is what James Gunn keeps talking about. It's just a fun superhero movie that isn't worried about everything being realistic or grounded. It's just, it goes off the rails and has fun. You know what I mean?
And now that you've seen Superman, it's probably the first time you've seen it since then. It's like, this just fits in that world, right?
It does, like in a way that you didn't expect. Like, actually, we Catherine and I watched Superman over the weekend. I bought it because I just can't help it. She liked it. She liked it. And like, it didn't like blow her away or anything, but she liked Lois, she liked Clark, she liked, the message. She kind of and it did. I'm rewatching it. It almost, this is a really funny, weird angle.
I watched it over the weekend. I watched it on Saturday also again.
Watched better on a smaller screen for me in a way that was like, why is this? Is it just my second viewing? Is it just because
his shots look weird on a big screen? They just do. His angles.
Yeah, is it just my second viewing, or is it weird that this just feels more natural on a TV? For some reason, everything doesn't. The goofy things don't feel as goofy on a TV at times, and I don't know exactly what's coming from. That could just be me watching it a second time and being a little desensitized to the goofiness. I don't know. Ma and Pa Kent still weren't great, so that was still there. But
Clark.
Yes. But it's still, like it felt congruent with Suicide Squad.
Yes. With
a Suicide Squad movie that's dropping F-bombs and making sex jokes constantly. Like, you know what I mean? Like with Peacemaker, it's doing the same thing. It's kind of, it was like, oh, I did not expect a family friendly Superman movie and a rated R MA Peacemaker TV show could feel could click so well. And I think that's like, okay, James Gunn really, he's on, like it's kind of confirmation that like, okay, he's really onto something. Like this isn't just, there's a way to do it in a way that doesn't feel disjointed. It can feel like the same universe, but you can totally appeal to completely different audiences. And I think that's really cool.
Well, 3 things. One, if you remember, one of my big complaints about Suicide Squad when it came out was like, this does not fit in the universe that we've seen so far with the DCEU. So that movie automatically gets better now that I know it's part of this other universe.
Yes.
And again, he says that it's only a part of it if we reference it, but it's like, it's part of it. You may recast. Yeah, but like he means like only that specific detail is canon, not the whole thing. And so they may recast Harley Quinn or some other character.
Oh, they're not going to recast her. God, that would be the worst. She's literally the best Harley Quinn they could get. There's no one that could be better than her.
I don't know. I think it's possible. I think they definitely will at some point. But also to your thing about it being cohesive, it's like, well, it does help that Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Season 1, Season 2, and Superman, 5 projects are all written and directed by one man, James Gunn. So obviously they feel very similar, and his types of jokes run throughout all 5 properties.
I know. I still think one of my favorite jokes is the beginning of Suicide Squad. Just the whole opening, like 15 minutes of that movie is just hilarious.
I love when
hilarious.
my
But
favorite thing is whenever Weasel's floating in the water. Just the way he looks
yeah.
is
Oh, it's
brilliant.
like you didn't want to check if the weasel could swim, like that whole moment. But my favorite, I think the most I laugh out loud, and it's like this quick moment, is when we're like doing the intro of the squad. They're like, "This is Bloodsport. From a young child, his dad trained him to be, like any weapon's a deadly weapon." And then she's like, "This is Peacemaker. From a young child." Like she does the exact same speech
Yeah.
for him, and it's just like this. It feels like this hilarious thing where it's like it's playing on the fact that so many characters in comics are literally the exact same thing with different colors on it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's also just this because like, wait, what do you mean? Like, he's like, I just love that moment.
It sets up a great rivalry for he even says right there in that moment, John Cena says,
My bullets are bigger, right? Or something like that.
no, he says he says, I shoot better. And he's like, we do the exact same thing. And he's like, my bullets are smaller. Like I'm more precise. And then, so John Cena says that. And of course, Bloodsport is the one who actually shoots a smaller bullet through John Cena's bullet. So it's perfect foreshadowing and perfect payoff.
Yes, but and
for a
Idris
great
Elba's
moment.
brilliant. I hope we get Idris Elba's Bloodsport back because
He said this last week that he's
that.
always thinking about that character and that he's wanting to find Idris Elba to come back in some way as that character.
He's a
He
great
said this
character that
week.
can just show up and stuff. Like he should show up in the Batman movie because Bloodsport and Batman are pretty consistent rivals,
sure.
right? Yeah. So like, I mean,
they're
he should.
involved, yeah.
Is Bloodsport? Who's his main super? Guy?
You might be getting Deathstroke and Bloodsport
Okay.
a little mixed up, but
Who does Deathstroke usually face off against? Like, is he?
Deathstroke fights Batman a lot and Teen Titans. But Bloodsport, I mean, he's more of an old school, not old school. He's more of like he's not a huge character. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But
Who
he
did
would
he
definitely.
appear? Who was he first?
I think he'd fight.
against?
I think he fought Batman. I mean, he's fought everybody a few times. You know, I honestly can't really pinpoint, and maybe Batman, but I can't pinpoint who his
Sure.
arch nemesis was, so to
Yeah.
speak.
But he's also at the same time like he could like he's a character that's like Deathstroke and Bloodsport, basically the same character, right? With
Yeah.
different backstories.
In a lot of ways, yeah. In terms of just like assassins that are really
Mercenaries
good
that
with.
every kind of weapon, and they kind of are like don't care. They're kind of like these. They'll kill anyone who if they're paid to, contract killer.
They
kind
both
of-
have daughters. They're both trying to. Yeah, I mean, that's a similar thread for both of them too.
Yeah.
They're both trying to appease that. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens there. I didn't anticipate a little Suicide Squad section here at the end.
Peacemaker
or
season 2
Peacemaker.
teaser. Yeah.
This is really just the Peacemaker universe at this point, you know.
Dude, John Cena's doing it good enough that I'd give it to him. He's knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
I love him. He's the best
James
dude.
Gunn did say like yesterday, and everyone's running with it. I think they're misquoting him, but he said, "Yeah, Superman saga, like tell it over 4 movies, whatever." But he said it in a way it's like this may take 4 movies, or and Peacemaker may take, like he wasn't. To me, he wasn't breaking news.
wasn't
I have a feeling
revealing.
he wasn't
planned
saying
projects.
like there's 4 movies for the Superman saga. It was. I think he's
It
just
is
talking
interesting
like
that he's like planning. They're already planning shoots for the next
they're
Superman.
they're location scouting right
Or
now
the
based
the
on the
next
treatment.
Superman saga movie, which we know won't be Superman something. It'll be something else. but
Probably Super Friends or Super Family is my guess. Well, what'll be called?
like
the
the precursor to the Justice League, essentially.
I guess. I mean, Super Friends might be odd. I think Super Friends is the best answer because it's like actually a title from DC, but it doesn't make sense because they're not really friends. Other than I think I think Green Lantern could be in it still. I think some of them could
Sure.
go
Or but
space
John
wise.
Stewart could be in it.
Sure, it could be John Stewart from Lanterns, 100%. It probably will be actually if
Oh, yeah.
Guy Gardner is the Earth based one, and then John goes somewhere else. But I think, but my gut tells me it'll be called Super Family or something, which is kind of a lame title, but whatever.
Maybe they can think of something better. Yeah.
Hopefully they can. But anyway, or maybe they call it Legion of Doom or something. Make a
Sure.
cool crossover title.
Sure.
But yeah, it's interesting because it was Gods and Monsters, and now it's like, well, he's focused on the Superman section, and things are changing or evolving, and
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where it all ends up. But
Yep.
anyway, listeners, you came here for Alien Earth, not so much Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. That will be next week, and we
That was a
dive in more into
bonus.
that.
You got
It was
that
a
for
bonus.
free.
Yep. If we get successful enough, we could do 15-minute here's the extra 15-minute discussion that we can.
Patreon subscribers can hear the post show.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we've never gotten there quite yet. Anyway, my name is Donavon Thompson,
I'm Daniel Wingfield.
and we'll see you at your next session.
Real Therapy is brought to you by 241 Studios and viewers like you. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. for a new session with Daniel and Donavon. And remember,
they're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, 'cause it's Dan and